ended up getting a job at the post office under the alias Alex J. Hiddell. I don't know why he needed an alias, but he needed an alias. He ended up purchasing a handgun in early 1963 and the rifle that was supposedly used under that name, too, in the mail. It makes you think how easy it was to get weapons back then. It was pretty fucking easy. You just fucking pick it up. Well,
right, and they didn't even see if you're mentally ill before issuing you these
They still
guns.
Don't.
Well, they're supposed to.
Unless you haven't been, if you haven't been committed or anything like that, then they can't tell. That's the problem with that.
True.
That's the problem with gun control. You can't really...
Well, not just that, but I mean, like, let's say you're a little kid and dad teaches you how to hunt with a rifle, and you're mentally stable when you're like 6, 7, 8 years old learning how to hunt, and soon you turn 16 and go on a homicidal rage. I mean...
Exactly.
Things can change.
Oh, yeah. And he returned to New Orleans for a little bit in September of 1963, and he took the trip to Mexico City. And he attempted to obtain passage to Cuba and the Soviet Union to no avail. They did not want him in Cuba. They didn't want him in Soviet Union.
They did not want him whatsoever.
He kind of had himself stuck between a rock and a hard place because he tried to abandon the U.S., supposedly, by going to the Soviet Union and gaining citizenship there. And then when he was denied there, they thought he was a spy. So he came back here, and then the U.S. was watching him closely because he was a pro-communist, and this is back in the Red Scare when they would just arrest your ass for just being a communist.
So that's probably why he changed his name, his identity, and then he's like, oh, let's try this again. Let's go somewhere else. And they're like, nah, I got you.
Come to think of it, that's probably why he had to use a different name. I didn't think about that. He ended up getting a job at the Texas School Book Depository in Dallas. Everybody knows about that. And he stayed nearby in the suburbs. He wasn't actually in Dallas. He was in a suburb. Marina actually gave birth to their second daughter in October. And now in April of 1963, Oswald allegedly tried to shoot a right-wing ex-general Edwin A. Walker through a window of his home, but he missed.
Such a great marksman, huh?
Apparently. But he was above average.
Yeah,
so.
At one point.
But, yeah, we'll go through all that. And then, after the assassination, obviously, and everything like that, November 22nd, 1963, he was taken to the county jail, and on November 24th, 1963, he was shot by Jack Ruby.
You just kind of sounded like one of the people that, like, rattle off bids. You just rattled them off.
Can I get a... Have you ever seen that with a rap beat?
No.
Put to a rap beat? Oh my god, it's hilarious.
You'd make an excellent...
Can I get a one? Can I get a cock in the ass? Cock in the ass? Do we got a cock in the ass?
Oh my god, no.
2 fingers, 2 fingers, 2 fingers. Can we get a knuckle? Can I get a pinky in my ass, please? Pinky in my ass. Alright.
I don't know how to respond. I do not know how to respond.
Give me one pinky. Do we have 2 pinkies? Can I get 2 people's pinkies in my butt? Please, please. Really anybody. I'm looking around just like actually people are in front of me like a psychopath. Alright. Now.
You're eating the microphone.
I know. In order for my voice to sound creamy, I have to. I've got a new setup, so I'm kind of getting used to it right now. In all honesty, I think it sounds about the same as my other microphone, but it's just more difficult to set up. But I got the microphone for Christmas from my mother, so thank you, Mom. I do appreciate it. I had to buy a bunch of other shit to go with it, but it gave me an excuse to buy a mix board, which is awesome. We're going to get into the Warren Commission report, which was the official report done on the assassination of Mr. John F. Kennedy.
All right, so the Warren Commission is actually named after Chief Justice Earl Warren. It looks like Lee Harvey Oswald fired 3 shots at President... Oswald? Lee Harvey, fuck you.
That guy's weird. He's odds weird.
Shut up. Okay. I can't even do it now.
Lee Harvey Oswald. You think that's what they call them in school and shit?
I hope so. Okay.
He seems like he'd be the type that'd be into, like, Magic the Gathering and shit in school. That was me, but...
Bright future, babe. Bright future. Lee Harvey Oswald fired 3 shots at President John F. Kennedy, and the second and third shots he fired struck the president. The third shot he fired killed the president. President Kennedy was struck by 2 rifle shots fired from behind. This is supposedly what the Warren report says.
I was just going to say, she's actually reading the official report of what happened. So this isn't what we believe yet. This is the official Warren report.
This is the documentation that they have written down. So this is their idea of what actually happened. So after President Kennedy was struck by 2 rifle shots fired from behind him, the shots actually struck President Kennedy from behind were from the 6th floor window of the southeast corner of the Texas School Book Depository building. Lee Harvey Oswald owned the rifle that was used to fire the shots from the 6th floor window of the southeast corner of the Texas School Book Depository building. Lee Harvey Oswald, shortly before the assassination, had access to and was present on the 6th floor of the Texas Schoolhouse Book Depository. Lee Harvey Oswald's other actions tend to support the conclusion that he assassinated President John F. Kennedy.
All right, so yeah, that's the official report right there, and I will say that report was wrapped up pretty fucking quick. They did that in a hurry. That's as much as I'm saying at this very moment, but we're gonna go into the mini conspiracy theories, because that's what the show is about. It's a conspiracy asylum, and we're gonna go into the mini conspiracy theories that have to do with this. Conspiracy theory number 1. The first conspiracy theory we're going to start off with is the Mafia did it. Now, why would the Mafia do it? Why would they care if the president was dead or not? They usually just deal with their own shit. Their code is they kill each other. They've said that. It would be kind of weird if the Mafia did do it. But there is a motive for doing this. A couple of them. There could have been some connections with Mr. Joe Kennedy when he was doing the rum running in the Prohibition era. When he's making all that money off of Scotch whiskey, he might have fucked somebody over and they decided to kill
his son.
Possibly 2 of his sons. Because RFK's assassination isn't exactly cut and dry either. Which Sirhan is the one that killed RFK. He's still sitting in prison. He still claims to this day he doesn't remember it at all.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's another one. We'll do, I think I'll do a short episode on him one time. Maybe with just myself. I'll do like a quick little, like 15, 20 minute one on RFK.
Maybe that could be like a VIP episode.
That maybe, hey, if we get some Patreons, that could be a Patreon episode. So sign up for Patreon. Remember that. I'm not going to plug that a bunch because you know what? I'm doing this for fun. We're doing this for fun. We have a lot of fun doing this. We bond pretty good when we're doing it. And it's a cool little hobby for both of us. So.
Plus, we like to banter the crap out of each other, and you guys get to hear it.
Exactly. Mr. Robert F. Kennedy was basically setting off a crusade against the Mafia at that time, and years before that. RFK wanted to dismantle the Mafia piece by piece. He started by getting rid of a bunch of mob bosses. I don't have the number in front of me, but I think there was one bust where he ended up contributing to like 10 different mob bosses, something like that. Something really big that he ended up busting them, and this is with JFK's approval. So their thinking is take out JFK, maybe that'll scare RFK away. So basically that's the Mafia theory. The Cubans did it. Now, this one's pretty cut and dry. We tried to assassinate Fidel
we tried
Castro.
to take out Fidel Castro, and they're just trying to get even and take out, Kennedy for us,
That's exactly what it is. And actually, Johnson, Mr. Lyndon B. Johnson, in an ABC News report in 1968, I didn't know this before I started researching, but in 1968, in an ABC News report, he said Kennedy was trying to get Castro, but Castro got him first.
That's pretty interesting.
That's a quote. That is a quote from that interview, so... That's, yeah.
Something I never knew.
I didn't know that before I started doing this. Now, Mr. Lyndon B. Johnson did it. Why would he kill Kennedy? What does he have to gain from killing Kennedy? Well, he had a lot of ties to the CIA, for one, and Kennedy wanted to dismantle the CIA, smash it into a bunch of pieces, is what Kennedy wanted to do. And Lyndon B. Johnson had a lot of ties, along with, drumroll please, George H.W. Bush. Not Mr. W, the last president we had, but what,
George Herbert Walker Bush.
Yes. No new taxes, that guy.
Which he recently died, so rest in peace, but about him.
He was a fucker. No, not rest in peace. I hope he's in fucking hell. Burn in hell, douche. Okay. I don't care if the motherfuckers are dead or not. If they were fucking horrible people, fuck them. I hope they're in hell.
He never directly affected me. I was born in 1990. I mean, he was president for a year, 2 years?
Yeah.
Then we went down to Clinton.
He did a lot of things that were, We'll do an episode on him.
Oh, we should.
Probably just on the Bushes, because they're horrible people.
Right, let's start a war and have our son finish it, shall we?
Not only that, oh my god, the Bohemian Grove stuff, the sex trafficking shit. There's people that have come out and said that they were involved in sex trafficking at political parties where George H.W. Bush was participating.
I can believe it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I do not doubt that this guy was probably in hell right now. And another theory is that the CIA did it. These are the main theories, and then we're going to give reasons of why these theories may be correct after this. But the CIA did it. Now, first of all, Kennedy was seen as a treasonist. He was seen, after the Cuban Missile Crisis, he was seen as somebody that committed treason because he dealt with the Soviet Union. And at the time, the Soviet Union was held to the same pedestal as the Nazis. So they were the complete enemy. We don't bargain with terrorists. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't,
And they are the enemy. They are the terrorists. And you don't dare talk to them.
Exactly. And he had the nerve to actually do it. And he also said that the CIA and the FBI were run like shit. He hated the FBI. He hated the CIA. He wanted to dismantle both of them. He is still the only president to this day that wanted to do that. And what a surprise, he got shot in the head in the middle of Dallas. And the thing is, too, with the CIA thing, there are reports out there that Lee Harvey Oswald had some connections to the CIA. Now, the papers that came out within the last year, because we had, under the Freedom of Information Act, there were papers released. I think it was Freedom of Information Act. Something where they can only keep classified documents for so many years. And I think it's like 50. Something like that. And they had to release them.
The moon landing. That should be coming then, huh?
Yes, if there are any documents that didn't get shredded. MK Ultra, that'll be one that we do. MK Ultra documents, most of them got destroyed. They didn't have a chance for them to come out. That's what the problem is with a lot of this stuff. The stuff that they release is basically worthless. Because there's no way to tell if it's actually correct. But, alright, we're going to go through some of the evidence that's going to uphold some of these conspiracy theories. Now, in March of 1963, Lee Harvey Oswald, under the alias of A. Hedel, purchased...
So, Alex Hedel.
Was it Alex?
I believe so.
I don't think it was Alex.
What was it?
Alec.
Yeah. Catlick.
In
Ass lick.
March 1963.